Good morning, everyone. So today we are going to understand the real estate framework, which we are going to use for mainly for property management, and that I'm going to present it today. I'll share my screen. So this is the real estate framework which we are going to discuss it today. So the main idea behind this is the owners who are remotely staying and how this property management is going to help them. So this is the key idea of understanding about this session and what are all the challenges they face, how we are addressing through this framework. So the first thing is that generally the owners who stay overseas, they have a lot of worries about buying after buying the property. When they get an opportunity to travel abroad, how to take care of my property. So this is the main concern. We see there is a problem and there is a solution has to be provided. For example, my another customer who is having a villa in Ajmera Willows. So he purchased a property for 3.5 crores and invested of money of 60 lakhs for the interior. So he moved in, he purchased and he moved in, he stayed for 1 year, 1.5 years. And after that, he got a chance to travel abroad. And now after 1 year, he want to travel abroad. He purchased some property loans. He has to repay the loan. Then he has to travel abroad. So 1.5 years he stayed comfortably. Now he has to travel. So now the property worth of more than 4 crores. Now whom to give it? So this is the challenge the customer is facing. So now this is the problem which we are trying to address for my customers. So the customer come to me, he was requesting me to take care of the property till he comes back. So we got into the service agreement and other formalities, onboarding that property to our system. And we took that forward, taking care of that end to end, like renting out the property and inventory management. There are a lot of valuable things inside. So whom to give it? That is the pressure on the owner side, which we are trying to solve. So it's similar that I have done more than around 5,000 properties we have handled. And out of that, some 3,000 properties I already let out, and few sale, few buyers, we sold it, and few owners property, we sold it. That is the overall experience for last 10 years I'm doing this. So these are all the properties concerns, property owner concerns. So for that, we developed a framework, a solution for such kind of a problem. And this is a problem solver. This kind of problems getting solved by this framework, and it takes to their happy state. So the overall idea of this framework is how to solve this kind of a problem. This is what I am trying to address here. So one example I told you, like that, there are different pain points or challenges from the owner side, which we observed during our entire property management journey. And this is mainly for a flat owners, villa and site owners. So particularly they are traveling or working in other cities. They are not in Bangalore, but their work may be in Mumbai, Delhi, or US or UK. So wherever they are there, they can travel and work. See, a current marketing or economic scenario, the job and always the invested place where we work is really challenging. Majority of the customers, they have to travel abroad to work and and keep the family away from the purchased property. So when they go to abroad, what are all the problems they face it? So this is the main idea. So first one is the flat safety. So the flat safety is something like they have inventory. That's what I've discussed earlier. So the lot of things they kept, valuable things, and we have to maintain the inventory. So you can't just give key to someone and go away to abroad. Or simply locking, also few customers doing, but that is not the effective solution. See, because majority of the customers simply lock and go. They have to pay the EMI. Then how do you pay the EMI for the purchased property? So they have to generate a revenue. Simply keeping locked, it is not going to solve their problem. Over a period of time, it will gather that dust. Then there are some maintenance is required. One flat, one of my customer flat, in the during rainy season, that leaves were blocked in the balcony. So the balcony leaves were blocked on the outlet, and when during the rainy season, the keep rain is coming, and water is completely filled the balcony outlet. So water come into the inside the flat. Entire villa got seepages on the side areas. So this is a big headache for them, and nobody is there to open and clear that outlet water. So there are many issues like this we face and solved it. So one is that flat safety, and the second one is marketing that flat for rental and lead chase. See, majority of customers living in abroad and where the time zone is different, so they don't have a chance to put an ad and watch the leads coming and follow up. Even some leads coming, how do you show the property? So they are sitting in different time zone, so you can't show the property. Suppose we are posting an ad in some leading portal, so where you will get some 10 responses in one day. How do you follow up? So what time you call? Our day is your night. So in such cases, they find it very difficult to manage such leads and coordinate with them. During our time is 12 o'clock India time, and the US time is night 12 o'clock. So how do you coordinate, showing the property? And on top of that, the tenant may not come on the appointment given date. Suppose they may little half an hour late, or they may postpone at the last minute. So you will be waiting at till 12 o'clock at the night and to attend this call, and this guy will say, I'm coming weekend. So there are challenges on that, and tracking this lead. How many guys have seen it, whether they are okay, not okay. Some properties are hot properties where branded ones may go faster. But there are some properties, it is not that demand property or a location. So we have to continuously push, on the market that property and try to fill it. So the third one is that friends help. So generally, like if a tenant coming to see at 12 o'clock, and what the owner currently, few customers, my customers are doing it. That is why I'm trying to explain this. They call, somebody in the society who will be the helper, a temporary helper, or friends or somebody, neighbor. So they will call them, and they have the key. So they will tell the neighbor to open the flat and show the flat. So, this is not the right professional way to do it. See, you can ask 1 or 2 times. So you can't ask continuously to show this. Suppose some property will have 10 tenants will come. Some property, 1 tenant, yes, it's okay. But if you see the majority of the, tenant visits are mostly more than 1 or 2 times, 10 times we have to show. Because the property location and the demand on that location and that apartment is like that. So that is why we see that it is not that 1 or 2 times it can be filled. So asking your friends is a big challenge. Sometimes they have only weekend, they have to stay with the family. So asking friends is not the right choice. So the next one is, even if you find the tenant now. So now after finding the tenant, the agreement, documentation support. So what currently the owners doing is they go to the tenant only to print the agreement. Okay, they go to some nearest some browsing center and talk to them, some e-stamp vendor. So they ask them to get the document done. So they will get it done there. The tenant only have to go and get it done. And okay, the documentation is done. So then they'll sign it, and they will move in. So everything tenant has to do. So this is something like a challenge where the owner finding the challenge. So we are trying to help. So the next one is the background check. See, you find the owner, owner found a tenant here in Bangalore, and now they wanted the background check. So how do owner can do the background check sitting there? See, this is another challenge. So where what we do is we take Aadhaar card, and there is if you want a criminal history of the property, sorry, person, or credit history, and what is their person background. So we take some LinkedIn profile and validate the profile whether they are from a genuine background or any issues with them, or they pay the rent properly. We meet them. So when we meet them with the experience and we can make out this particular tenant, it can solve our expectations. For example, the rent. So if we don't do proper background check, that guy will not pay the rent on time. And particularly owner is not here. So they take the advantages. They take their own time to pay the rent. Sitting there chasing this guy is another big problem. So we make sure that a corporate tenants coming in and get that rent, will they pay properly on time. So all the help we do it on behalf of the owner as a property manager who will be managing his property. So next is repair work. So the now tenant finalized the property. Now there are, when you go and see the property, it is full of dust and lot of maintenance work is there. Kitchen counters were not able to close drawers properly. Balcony doors are getting stuck. Some seepages inside, painting required. So now who will do these issues? These problems tenant will report. So I am seeing few owners telling the tenant that you get it and whatever the charge you direct from the deposit or the rent. And we don't know that who will come, how do they do the work, whether they are qualified vendors. So like this, a lot of challenges owner has to face it. So next is rent collection. So sometimes if they default the rent, so sitting there and chasing that is difficult. So that is a rent collection. So what we do is, as a property manager, we collect the rent and credit on owner account. So some owners are, with me, they wanted it directly to be credited in their account. So we are flexible. That is not a problem. We just see that if tenant causing any delay, we will take it, follow up, chase it, and take it and credit on a owner account. Sometimes if a genuine tenant, they make proper prompt payment, and we are okay to owners also take directly. That is not a problem. And some owners, like 10 minutes they're talking to me over phone, and they say that I want the rent and deposit to be credited in my account. So in such a case, it's not that their problem also. See, they don't know about me, and also, although I share a lot of references, and owners currently serving their contact number also, I'll share it. So even though if they wanted to be created in their account, is okay, absolutely no problem. So we have some annual contract and annual service charge we charge, and that as long as they pay it to us, it is fine. So that is the process which we are following. Next is the plat inspection. So we take a property management rights. So we go formally and check the property for a plat, inspecting the plat. So during the inspection, we find what are all the issues in the flat. For example, some seepage is coming, some balcony door getting stuck, and some kitchen counter leakage is there below the sink. So these are all the issues. If we don't attend on time, then later entire kitchen counter, sink, below sink, interiors will go waste. That few tenants are very curious and they are trying to resolve, but there are few tenants, they're not taking care of such issues. So we have to see there and see the issue and try to send the right vendor to fix that problem. See, this is the part of the property management process. Sitting a owner without a property manager, how he will do it? First of all, he don't know that there is a problem there. So such cases, when they move out, owner person, somebody will comes and checks, and you see the big problems. Now, who will pay that interior cost? then they'll get into some misunderstanding. And this is the issue of remotely managing a property. It is whose fault now? So this is the issues we see across the owners and trying to solve these problems. Next is the deposit settlement. So now the tenant moved in and stayed 2 years, and after 2 years he is moving out from the flat. So we have to do a move out inspection and make sure that everything, whatever we have given, it is there in the flat. In case if it is not there, what is the problem, where it is, or something like a tenant fault or certain natural wear and tear. So where is the issue? So that we have to identify and try to solve that. So when they move out, we have to go and inspect the property and see that any damages and what is the cost of the damage. That we help owners to recover it from the tenant. Suppose certain things are wear and tear. It is not that something tenant fault. So in such case, we don't charge the tenant. So it should be a win-win. Certain wear and tear, owner also should take it. It is not that something 100% tenant fault. Suppose a balcony door glass broken by tenant's children. So this is something tenant fault and he supposed to pay for it and make sure that that properly done, and so that next tenant will not face such problems. And after verifying all those things, we will be the person who calculate the final settlement and settle to that tenant. Suppose if owner takes the deposit and I will share the final settlement after the tenant approval and pass it on to owner, and owner will transfer the deposit to the tenant. So we are like a facilitator who will be doing end-to-end service for the owners. So owners no need to worry or talk to the tenant about some issues. So we will be intermediate person who will be solving that issues. There are many property management companies, they take the deposit and they settle it and they'll pay some amount to the owner. So we are not doing it because in Indian scenario, the huge amount handling, there is all the deposits handling. We have seen some issues in the market. So if that's why we are not forcing owner to keep the deposit with us and we pay some amount to them. So we see some previous vendors here in Bangalore not properly manage that money. So we are okay to retain that to the owner only. So we will be helping that end-to-end process. Next is move-in support. So when the tenant move in, next tenant, so the flat has to be ready for them. And so for that painting, deep cleaning, and all other move-in issues, society moving support. So they're trying to move in. So the guy, one owner, he didn't write an email to the society saying that tenant is moving in, so-and-so tenant moving in today. So that guy directly come and sit on the gate saying that, security is not allowing me inside. So then the issue started. See, this kind of issue, generally what we do is we will be telling to the society manager and owner saying that so-and-so person moving in a day before, at least a day before or 2-3 days before they're moving a luggage coming to the flat. Last minute, if we do sometime like owner in a different time zone, he will not be able to write a mail. So this tenant don't know that there is a society manager there. He's supposed to approve, before my luggage coming into the apartment. So these are all the challenges, and they stay waiting at this security gate, this luggage, and the security is not allowing him inside. So the problem now, whose problem is this? So this kind of issues is what we see, remotely managing a property. So this is the total overall issues highlighted. Few may be missing. So this is the general major criteria of the issues which we are trying to address to the owners. So why did I get into this property management? I have my own experience on all these issues. So I decided to share that with the people who are interested, who join in our group, our customers. So I born from Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore. and from poor family, poor humble family. And I studied my MCA with the UG Commerce graduate and worked in corporates, leading corporates like Wipro and Siemens is what I worked. And during my overseas travel, I learned this property management. I took the property managers, referred property in Birmingham in UK and Seattle in US. So I started observing their processes and I liked a lot the way they professionally handle such properties. See, in UK and US, there is nothing that even though they stay close by, they prefer to give it to a professional property management companies. They don't do themselves independently owners like how we here in India, we do it, they don't do it. So I started observing such processes. It is very well professionally documented and managing that property. Even small damages, I have to pay. I paid in US just for one sticky nail. I mailed it, sticked on the wall. I paid $100 when I move out. So such kind of a care they take care of the property, when they let out the property and making sure that deposit credits, documentation, inventory management, every cup and saucer, they list it in the document. So when they move out, I am responsible to give it back in same condition. See, except wear and tear is okay. That is not that they're very much concerned, but the damage perspective, it will be will be taken. So, and when I stay in US, I have given a GPA to my another advocate in Bangalore. So he purchased a site for me in Bangalore. And when I visit here for during my vacation, I finalized the property and given a GPA to my friend who is a lawyer here, and he did the registration on behalf of me. See, that is how I purchased a property here in India at Bangalore. And after returning from US, I built a 8-flat apartment, my own apartment. I stay on one unit, remaining 7 I let out the property. So during this entire building process, I learned a lot about architecturing the flats and drawings from the architects like plumbing, electrical, carpentry, joinery, structural. So every drawings I got it, and I learned this construction process also. Then after 15 years of corporate experience, although I get a chance to travel abroad, and I dropped it because I have built apartments here, flats are with me. Now I don't know whom to give it. Same exactly what we see earlier issues where I have to handle that for 8 flats remotely, all the issues which we've seen in the previous slide. So how do I do that sitting there? And I don't know, nobody here whom to give it also, I don't know. So if I just simply give it and that's it, nothing will be there when I come back. So I need somebody who is reliable, whom to give it. So that is the major challenge for me to start this new process, new venture called property management. And of course, I have a very good understanding of how they did that US and UK. I did a lot of studies in UK. How do they manage it in US? What type of products they are using to manage such end-to-end property management system. So I learned a lot of training. I took it, and a lot of studies I understood, and I got that very good understanding. I got some fair confidence. In fact, in India, this was not very well established business here. When one customer, I opened my own venture, then I quit my corporate job. Last 10 years, I'm doing, and not even single day, I realized that I regret about corporate job loss or left the corporate. So I was more happy doing this. This is my lifetime and this become a passion to do it. Then one more thing in the corporate is good. I learned a lot from the corporate. I don't say anything wrong with the corporate. So more the time you stay is where the problem with the corporate. See, I see there is no fulfillment. Yeah, I see the success is something like what we get it, and the fulfillment is what we give it. See, in this fulfillment perspective, I'm not convinced with the corporate life. So I moved into this and built my own business, and I'm happy I have sufficient clients and I'm able to run this business comfortably now within a great understanding of customer requirements and running this business. And we are building one comprehensive franchising model where the same business model can be leveraged in other location. The development is going on. This is a huge scope of work where need to be implemented, that we are doing it now. It will take some time because the scope is big, so hope it will get soon. So this become last 10 years a full-time passionate work. So now our mission will be we are going to help 1 million NRI to come out from such issues. So that is our main focus now. We have a small team who also working on these requirements, and so we are running the show. So this problem, how to solve it through the property management framework. So this is our framework. We identified six key steps through which we are trying to solve these owners problem who is in remote location. So these are the challenges we faced in the previous slide. Now we are going to solve this one by one by giving this solution. So first is the ultimate flat security. So this is the first step which we do it. So the owner will talk to me and give us their flat key by giving some references and our credibility built so far, and reviews, and our customers number also. I'll share it in case if anyone wanted to know our services. And so that the security part, they don't need to worry about it. So they give the flat to us and we will be taking care of their flats. So that is the way, and they don't need to depend on any friends, anymore. Once they give it to us, and we will be taking care of such properties. Next, tenant management. So we have a marketing such property to the different portals, and collect the leads, show the properties, viewing at a scheduled time, and convert that lead to prospective tenants. So majority we target on the corporate tenants. So we don't just give it to somebody who is not with a proper background. So like corporates is what mainly we target. So that is where they get the rent properly and give salary properly and give the rent on time. So that is why we target mainly on the corporate employees. So we have stalls, we have different sources of lead generation of corporates, and cafeteria stalls, and online advertisements leading in portals. We advertise and generate the lead. And maintenance. So with respect to the maintenance, we have set of vendors who will be working with us, and who will be helping the different property maintenance work. For example, painting, deep cleaning, and carpentry services, electrical, plumbing, waterproofing. So we have set of vendors, we leverage them and get the job done. So that solves their tenant problem of repair work. So sitting from owner on site and asking tenant to solve the problem. So that is getting solved here. Then the next one is that trust and transparency. See, we mainly operate on the highest trust with the owners. See, if there is no trust, there is no point of executing a business, having a business tie-up with them. So that is why we see the trust is very critical. If anyone who is not trusting me, I don't need their They don't need that customer. So we try to establish as much as possible to build the trust. So this particularly this business does majority the trust is very important. See, without trust, we can't run the business. So owners also should understand such things, and that's why we are emphasizing on this point. So the next one is the transparency. We were on the complete transparency. For example, on the rent. So majority of the management companies, they say the rent one to the owner, and they get it another rent from the tenant. So that transparency, they don't disclose it. They'll say some number to the owner, and that is the number the management company pays to the owner, whereas the tenant will pay different number. So we are not doing such things here. So whatever the actual tenant is supposed to pay, we will give it to the owner. So our charge will be annual maintenance. There is a separate charge, and that I'll discuss in the next slide. So this is what we expect. And agreement also complete transparency, and tenant number, owner number, everything can be transparent. In case if owner wanted to speak to tenant, they can speak. We are there to take care of such things in case if they wanted it. So we help them to complete transparency. If they want to communicate, no problem. Then the digital documentation. So here we don't need a owner to be present here to sign the agreement, or any agreement physical copy sign is not required. So majority we do it through the online, and some like government stamp paper print that sign something that required. We will scan it and send to them, and they will sign it and send us back. For example, tenant agreement, there is a statutory obligation to sign that e-stamp paper, so which is not available in the soft copy thing readily from the government. So we take that hard copy and print it on the stamp paper and get it signed. Alternatively, sometimes the owner will print that and send in some white paper sign here, and we do franking. So that also we do it here. So owner no need to worry about like physical presence to do executing these documents. Our service agreement also they can do online. So the next is trusted finance management. So this is where mainly the deposit and the rent collection. So they don't need to worry about it. They can leave it to us, the rent collection. We will collect and credit to them. So there is no issue of that. I have a customer who is my 10 years customers. I will credit on time, maximum before 5th. At the moment I receive from the tenant, first if I receive it, maximum first or second, it will be credited in owner account. Suppose if tenant delays, we have to follow up and take it and credit in the owner account. So it's nothing that single month getting stopped or delay to the owner. Unless tenant delays, sometimes we delay, otherwise on time they will get it. And similarly, the deposit. So the deposit owner says that I want to retain deposit. Okay, you take it, no problem. Some owners say that you only handle it and you settle to the tenant. So we are okay with both the options. So with respect to the money perspective, owner no need to worry. We have a process and system. This will handle these issues effectively. So for any owner who wanted an onboarding things will be done in maximum 3 days time. So we just need to visit the flat and see the feasibility. Okay, so how that location, is that location comfortable to let out, or any issues in the location or property, how demand is that location. So such things we will see and identify that, and based on that we take decisions. Sometimes if it is far away from our office, see, there is no point in going such far away and do this work. So it is not that will work out for us as well as the owner. We get into issues, so we don't want that. If we take it, we should be able to do 100%, we do it. Otherwise, there is no point in taking, owner asking us, we take it. No. If we take it, we want to do it properly. Otherwise, let's not do that. Then the service, as long as once the service agreement is agreed and this service agreement will be there for 11 months. So after 11 in Bangalore, all rental agreement and service agreement both will be at 11. So every 11 months, the owner has to be renewed for the next 11 months. So that service will be covered continuously. It is not that just you take 11 months and you say you don't want it. No, we are not interested in such clients. Those who are interested, it should be able to take a planning of 5 years. If they go for a project work for 5 years, so we take care of the property for 5 years. In this 5 years, 5 tenants will come and go. So what to do? So now every tenant move out, move in the new tenant, all the documentation support, inspection, making sure the settlement is done on time, so the tenant also will not worry. So this is the general issues we face it and we address it. So owner no need to worry, he can stay comfortably there, and we will support this entire process. Move out, move in, any issues in the flat, fixing all those things. So this is a list of services which we offer and options, rental options which we have for owners. So this is a self-explanatory. You can pause the video and see these things. Rental service, we have 3 options. One is the standard plan and premium plan and the basic plan. So this is the premium one. The first one is the premium for remote owners. See, this is the proper one package which will be the very useful for the owners. We generally recommend this is to take it. So what are all the work we do, that is listed here, and for this plan, this is what we do it. So for that, a minimum 23K or 1 month rent, whichever is higher. This is for every 11 months. There will be a service agreement will be executed and that will be renewed every 11 months. So and the taxes is not included, that will be extra. So next one is standard option for local owners. So this is generally we don't recommend, but still there are some owners coming to office and say that they wanted only renting out the property. So we do the flat rent out and they will manage it themselves. So for that, the rent 1D option, for that there are a list of things we do it, and which is not done it in the cross mark, which we don't do it. Once they move in, some 10 days support we give it, and once they settle and we exit from our service. This is standard agent service which we do, and 1 month rent for that one-time charge we charge the owners. The next one is the basic option for owners. Actually, this is the third one, the basic option. Actually, owners saying to me that don't rent out, only take care of my property. See, they're going for 1 year assignment and they don't want to let out the property. So that they don't need any rent from the property. So interiors, there are some owners they have expensive interior. They say that I don't want to give it to tenant because they have a little worry about tenant will create or damage their properties. So that is why, and some owners are like a flat kept for the sale, because with the tenant every time taking a new buyer and showing to them is an inconvenience to the tenants. So we have to get appointment, and if they are serious about sale, and let's not rent out that property. So for that only manage only. So we will try parallelly sale and manage that property. For example, every quarter or monthly, we need one kind of deep cleaning. See, otherwise when we take the buyer there, it look dirty. So, conversion probability will become less. So that is why we keep this option. We do only manage, and till they come back, we will give back, or if sale happens, we will sell the property if owner interested in sale. And there are one more option, manage only for a vacant site also. So we do vacant site management also, which is some property owners, they purchased a plot here and they go abroad and there is no one to take care of that property. because after 5 years, 10 years down the line, they come back that they can't even identify that site. It will become like that. So there is some owners, they are little worried about encroachment of that property, how the development happening. So they want the property after coming back and build it. So they want somebody to monitor it. So we have some every 2 visits for every 11 months, and take photos, videos, and share with the owner. And we do that management also. Suppose on top of that, if they want a cleaning of the site or a compound wall building, display board, uh, and property tax payment to the nearest panchayat, we do that also. So that the property will be there with someone's attention continuously. So that is the intention. So the service charge, whatever we put here, it is an indicative. So subject to change, it depends on property, location, type, etc. So for any help, I can ping us to this number. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Bye.